Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Damit and today I have something really cool to show you. In this video, I'll teach you how to turn a beautiful design made in Figma into a working website using NextJS 13 and making it look amazing with TailwindCSS. Ever wondered how designers and developers work together? By the end of this video, you will know how to make your designs come to life on the web. Before we start, please click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any of our web designing and development lessons. And if you find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. It's really help to our channel. Let's get going with our Figma to Next.js 13 and Tailwind CSS tutorial. And remember, if you like what you see, consider subscribing and liking. It's a small way to support our channel. Before we go into forward, let's time to check what are the topics I am going to cover in this video. First of all, we need to create GitHub repository for our project. By the end of this video, I am going to deploy this project in Vercel. So that's why I am going to use GitHub to publish my code. In here, you can see my GitHub profile and you can see the repositories section. Now you need to click on it. After click on that, you will navigate to this kind of page. In here, you need to click this green color new button for create new repository. For the creating new repository, you need to provide some details. In here, by default, they are selecting your profile as owner. Now we need to provide repository name. For the repository name, you can use any kind of name. In my case, I am going to use Christmas responsive web. After that, you need to provide some description about that. That is optional one. If you wish to add some description, you can add. Otherwise, no need to provide that description. In here, I am going to use this as my project description. After providing your repository description, you need to select your repository type. By default, they are selecting as our repository type public. If you wish to change, you can change as private also. After providing your repository type, you can add the readme file for your repository. In here, I am not going to add that one. After that, you can see add gitignore file. In here, I am not going to add that one also, because when I am creating the Next.js 13 project, that will automatically include in my project. After that, you can select your license type. In here, I am not going to select that one also. After providing this all detail, I am going to click this green button for create my repository. After click that button, you will navigate to this kind of page. Now I am going to show you how to create your local repository using your already created remote repository. For that, we need to copy our remote repository address by clicking this icon. Now we need to create new folder for our new project. For that, I am going to create new folder in here. And I am going to name as my web. Now I need to open this my web folder by using my Visual Studio Code. For that, I am going to inside of this folder and right click. I am going to click this open with code. Yeah, I think you can see my Visual Studio Code window. In here you can see the terminal. You need to click on it and you need to click on this new terminal. In here by default they are selecting my terminal as PowerShell. In this time I am not going to change about that, and now I am going to clone that my project to here. Now I am going to use this command. After this, you need to provide your remote repository address. I am going to paste in here and now I am going to press my enter key. In here you can see some warning. because our repository currently is empty. Now I need to go to the inside of this my cloned folder. It means Christmas responsive web. For that I am going to use command cd and my file name. After that I need to press my enter key. Yeah, now I am inside of that folder. Now we need to create our Next.js project. For that I am going to use Next.js get started code. In here you can see this clipboard icon. You can simply click on that. It will automatically copy. Before we going to forward, we need to check our node version. For that, go to your cmd, it means command prompt, and type node -v. In here you can see my node version is 20.5.0. In here one thing you need to keep in your mind, that is Next.js 13 minimum node version requirement is 17.0.2. If you wish to use Next.js 13, you need to have node version higher than 17.0.2. Now I am going to create my Next.js project. For that I am going to change my terminal. In here I am going to use this git bash. After selecting my terminal, I need to go to inside of that my cloned file. For that I am going to use command cd and my folder name. After that I am going to paste that Next.js 13 code, and I am going to provide in here full stop and / because I don't need to create folder inside of that my cloned folder. In here you can see they are asking some question about our project. Would you like to use TypeScript? In here I am going to select that as no. And would you like to use ESLint? In here by default yes. Would you like to use TailwindCSS? Yes. Would you like to use src directory? No. Would you like to use app router? Yes. Would you like to customize the default import alias? No. It will take some time to create our project. I think in here you can see this success message. That means my project has been created successfully. Now I am going to check that actually success or not. For that I am going to run my project. For that I am going to use npm run dev. Now my Next.js 13 project available on this localhost 3000. Now I am going to click on it. You can see my sample project output. Now I need to push this code to GitHub repository. For that first I am going to kill this terminal. Now I need to use git add command. In here I am going to add this all file. That's why I am using this full stop mark. Now I need to add commit for my project. After that, git branch. Finally, git push. Okay, now you can see your project in your GitHub remote repository. I am going to refresh this. In here, you can see your project file. Our next step is we need to export these all images from our Figma file. For that, I am going to create some folder as this section name. Now I am going to export these all images as SVG file. After exporting your images, your image count be like this. In Celebrate folder, 1 SVG image. In Footer, 4 SVG images. In Gift, 5 SVG images. In Giving, 3 SVG images. In Header folder, 2 SVG images. In Home, 1 SVG image. In Message, 1 SVG image. In New Arrivals, 4 SVG images. Now I am going to make one new folder named as Images. And I am going to move other folders inside of this. Now I can easily add that file to my project. Now I am going to drag and drop this images folder inside of this public folder. Now I am going to export and import these all images by using single file. For that I am going to create index.js file inside of this images folder. In here I am going to import all images. You can export image like this. After importing and exporting your all image, your index.js file need to be like this. Now I am going to doing some changes in my Tailwind config file. In here I am going to change my theme properties. In here first of all I don't need to use this background image. For that I am going to delete that one. Now I need to add font style for my project. Now I am going to check what are the font style they are using in Figma. You can check the font family by clicking in here. You can see they are using as a font family Poppins and font weight 600. And in here they are using 400 and in here they are using 500. Now I am going to import this font family for my project. For that I am using Google font and I am going to search that font style. You can see that font style and in here I am going to select that font weight. I need to select 400 and 500 and 600 also. After that I am going to use import option because I am using the Tailwind CSS. In here I am going to simply copy that and I am going to paste that in my global CSS file like this, and I am going to remove other, and I need to mention that in my Tailwind config.js file. I am going to make my primary font as Poppins. For that I am going to use font family. After adding the font family, I need to add colors for my project. For that I am going to use colors like this, and I am going to get all colors from my Figma file. Now I am going to add this all colors to my project. Now I am going to add this dark colors. After adding your all colors, your color section need to be like this. After that, now I am going to add screens for my project. The purpose of this screen, it means I am going to mention here my breakpoints in extra small 475 pixel, in small screen 640 pixel, and medium 768 pixel, and large screen 1024, and extra large screen 1300. In here you need to mention pixel. Okay, I have successfully added font family and colors and finally screen for my project. Now we need to set up our project folder structure. For that I am going to add new to folder inside of this app folder. For that first I am going to add component folder inside of this app, and I am going to add another folder for here that called layout. In here page.js file you can see some default template code. I am going to remove this all code in here because I don't need to that, like this, and I don't need to this one also. After removing that default template you can see output like this. Now I am going to create layout for our project. For that I am going to use this folder. Inside of that I am going to make my whole layout. After that we need to mention render site. In here I'm going to use client. We need to mention that in our all layout files. Now we can import this all layout to inside of our page.js file. Here I am going to import that all file. Now we can use that all imported file inside of this main tag. After that you can see your output like this. Now we can start our coding. In this main I need to give some style 1920 pixels and margin X auto and position relative and overflow hidden. And I need to give font as primer. In our design have dark mode and light mode. Then we need to create that. For that I can use the npm package next themes. In here you can see the next theme package and more details about that. If you wish to read, you can read that. Now I am going to use that package for my project. For that I am going to simply copy that and I am going to paste that in my console. First I need to kill this terminal and I need to paste in here and I need to press enter key. Now we need to configure that next theme npm package inside of our project. For that I am going to create new file inside of my components folder. That name called as theme provider.jsx. In here I need to mention use client and I am going to import theme provider export function theme provider I need to configure this theme provider inside of my project. Now I am going to use that inside of my layout file. In here I don't need to use this and this one also. Now I am going to import that theme provider in here and I am going to wrap this children using that theme provider. And I need to add attribute. And another thing, you can change your metadata also in here. I'm going to change that one. And after that we need to change something in our TailwindConfig.js file. Now I'm going to do that one. We need to add inside of here dark mode class. In our UI design you can see the dark mode and light mode button available on that navbar. Now I am going to first make that. For that I need to use some other npm packages for this button icon. It means this dark mode and light mode icon. For that I am going to use react icon package. You can use this command to install that package. My packages is successfully installed. Now I am going to NavbarJS. Now in here I am going to use two line for my icon. And I need to use some other things by using this Next.js package, this whole code. And I need to insert this. Okay, now I can use this theme inside of my project. Now I am going to use on click event in here. Like this. Now I am going to use inside of this div my icon theme equal to dark, then need to show this icon, and I am going to give width and height for that, and height also 20 pixels. After that I am going to give other icon in here, and I need to add this one in here. And in here I have do some mistake. I think now everything is fine. Now we can run our project. Yeah, in here you can see our icon and our dark mode and light mode now working well. You can push your code to GitHub. In here I am going to use another terminal for that, and I need to go to inside of my project. Now you can see in here main. Now I am inside of my project. I am going to use git add full stop, press enter. After that I am going to add commit and enter, and finally git push and press enter. Now you can see your code in your GitHub. In this project, firstly I am going to complete this hero section. In here you can see some images from this left side and some text and button from right side. Now I am going to make this one. Now we need to go to HeroSection JSX file. In here you can see that. In here now I no need to use this HeroSection. Then I am going to delete that one. In here I have one main div. Now I need to another div inside of my main div. Now I need to make another main 2 div for left side and right side. It means images section and my another text and button section. In here you can see I have added another 2 main div. Now I need to import my HeroSection image. Now I am going to do that. In here you can see my HeroSection image name as hero image. Now I am going to copy that and I am going to import that into my HeroSection. In Next.js, when I am going to deal with image, I need to import image from Next.js. Now I am going to import that. Okay, now I can use this image in my HeroSection. Now I need to provide src and alt for this image. I think now we can see the output after refreshing this page. In here you can see our output. Now I am going to make some style. For that I am going to use class name. Now I am going to check width and height. You can see 500 and 442 width and height. That for large screen. Now I am going to check small screen. In here you can see 320 and 282. Now we can add that style to our project. In here I am going to provide extra small with 500 pixel and extra small height 442 pixel. Now I am going to provide small screen width and height 320 pixel and height 282 pixel. Now I am going to check that. Now I am in large screen. Now I am going to check that within small screen. I think you can see the difference. Now I am going to work with this 2 paragraph and this button. For that I am going to use this div. Now I need 3 main div for that. Like this I am going to use this div. You can see that text 1, text 2 and button inside of this our output. First I am going to make this Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. For that I am going to copy this text and I need to add that one in here inside of p tag. You can see that one in here and I am going to add next text to my project. This I am going to copy that one and I am going to add in here inside the paragraph tag. Like this you can see that one also in here. Now we need to add style for this 2 text. I am going to do that one. In here you can see they are using font size as 40 pixel in large screen. I am going to check with the small screen. They are using 24 pixel and that font style, font weight both are same. You can see in here. Now I am going to add all the style for that both text. In here I have added text as 24 pixel in normal screen and I have added 42 pixel for the other larger screen and font same bold and extra small width as 500 pixel and normal screen for 300 and leading type. Leading I have used for the my text line width. That means between of 2 text. Now I am going to check my output. In here you can see and now I am going to check with that. I think you can see the difference. Now I am going to add the style for this small text. In here you can see they are using font size as 15 pixel in large screen, you can see the difference of this color. They are using two colors for that in dark theme and light theme. Now I am going to implement that part. In here you can see that changes. Now I am going to check that with dark mode. You can see the difference in dark mode and light mode. Now I am going to make this button. First we need to get some idea about that button. In here you can see in the border radius 64 pixel and background this color like this. Now I am going to make that one. Inside of this div I am going to give that button name. In here you can see that button name. Now I am going to add the style for that. In that 16 pixel for largest screen and 15 pixel for normal screen. I think you can see my button output in here. In here I have added rounded, it means my border radius as 64 pixel and with fit and height auto and background color and padding X12 and padding Y5 and normal screen text 15 pixel and large screen text 16 pixel and font medium and text color as white and margin top 10 and cursor as pointer. Now I am going to do some changes for making this better in small screen and large screen. For that I am going to add some style for this. First I am going to add some style for my second main div. Now I am going to add margin Y auto for my right side main div. And I need to add some another style for my paragraph tag main div. Now I am going to add that one. I am going to copy and paste in that for my next paragraph like this. Now I am going to add another style. Okay, I think now we can see our output. In here you can see my output. Now I am going to check that what about our responsive. You can see like that. I am going to change this as iPhone SE. You can see like that, and iPhone XR like this. I'm going to check that with iPad mini like this, and I'm going to check that with this one. You can see now it working fine. We can check with that in dark mode and light mode. I'm going to check that also. Here you can see that is working better. Now I am going to move my next part, GivingSection. In here you can see GivingSection have main title and 3 images and 3 title and 3 description. Now I am going to make this one. First I need to go to that GivingSection. In here I don't need to use this GivingSection now, then I am going to remove that one. In here I have one main div. I need to another main div inside of this div. I am going to add that one like this. Now I need to add another main div for my GivingSection main title. Now I am going to add that one. Now I am going to copy and paste that title inside of here, then I can easily understand. Like this, you can see in here that title. Now I need to add that 3 images to my GivingSection. Now I am going to do that. Now in here also I need to add next image. Okay, now I can use that image inside of this my GivingSection. First I am going to create this single card. After that I can create another 2 by using array. Okay, let's go to do that. Now I need another main div. Inside of this main div I am going to make another div. Inside of this div I need another 3 div for 2 paragraph and 1 image. Now I am going to add that one. Like this. Now I am going to add some dummy data for here. First I am going to add image. I think you can see the output like this. Now I am going to add some style for this my main title. In here we can see the title style. They are using font size as 24 pixel in large screen. In small screen they are using 20 pixel and font style normal. And large screen also they are using font style normal and font weight 600. Now I am going to add that all things to my project. In here I think you can see the output like this. Now I am going to make array for this card. Now I am going to map this data. Now you can see output like this. Now I am going to add some style for this. Now time to add our image style. Now I am going to check that width and height. In here you can see 120 and 120 in large screen. In small screen they are using 100. I'm going to add that one. Like this, and I need to add title style also. Now I'm going to check that. In here you can see font size, large screen for 20 pixel and font style normal and font weight 600. In a small screen they are using 16 pixel for font size and other thing also same. I'm going to add that one. Now I need to add this description style also. In here they are using in small screen 13 pixel and large screen for they are using 14 pixel and others same, font style normal and font weight 400. After that I need to add some more style for my second main div. Like this. Now I am going to check my output. In here you can see my output like this. Now I am going to check with that in small screen. Now I am going to check that with iPhone SE. You can see like that as our Figma file. After completing by section, if you wish to push your code, you can push your code to GitHub like this. Now I am going to change my terminal as bash, and in here you need to add git add full stop and enter. After that you need to add your commit. Finally git push. Okay, now you can see your code in your GitHub repository. Now time to start our next section. We can call as CelebrateSection. In here also I don't need to use this CelebrateSection text. Now I am going to remove that one. I am going to use this div as my main for my CelebrateSection. In Figma file you can see left and right side. In left side we have this text and this text, and we have finally one button, and right side you can see one image. For that I am going to use two main div for my left side and right side. Now we can create that. In this left side we have two text and one button. Now I am going to make three div element for that. Like this I am going to use div element. In here also we need to import image and our CelebrateSection image. Now I am going to do that. Now we can use this image inside of our CelebrateSection. I want to use that image in my right side main div. Now we need to add some style for our image. In here large screen you can see they are using 450 pixel for width and 450 for height. Now I am going to check with that in small screen. In here you can see they are using in small screen 280 pixel and height for the 280 pixel. Now I am going to implement that in my code. Now you can see the output like this. our right side is now finished. We need to continue with our left side. Now I am going to add the two text to my code. You can see the output like this. Now we need to add some style for our celebrate with a lot of love, our main title. Now I am going to check what are the style they are using in that main title. In this you can see they are using in dark mode this font color, and they are using font size as 20 pixel and font style normal and font weight 600. Now I am going to check with that in large screen. They are using this title color as font color and font size as 24 pixel in large screen, and font weight also same as our small screen 600. Now I am going to implement that all in my code, and in here you can see they are using in large screen text justify start, and small screen they are using justify center. We need to implement that also. Now we need to add our justify style for our this main div. I think you can see this output. Now time to move our next paragraph. Now I am going to check what are the style they are using in that. In here you can see in small screen they are using this dark text color and font size as 15 pixel and font weight as 400, and large screen they are using 16 pixel for font size and font weight as 400, and they are using this as the text color. Now I am going to implement that. I think you can see my output. In here also I need to add justify style in my div element. Okay, now we can start to implement our button. Now I am going to check what are the style they are using in our design. In here you can see they are using border radius as 64 pixel, and they are using this first color as background color, and in here they are using also 64 pixel for the border radius, and other things also same as to our large screen. Now I am going to implement that. Now in here we need to add our button text. In here also we need to add our justify style in our div element. You can see the output like this. Now we can add the style for our main div. In here you can see in large screen they are using flex as row, and in small screen they are using flex as column. We need to implement that for our both large and small screen. Now I am going to implement that one. by using my main div element. In here you can see our final output like this. Now I am going to check that with small screen and large screen. In here you can see that within large screen. In here now you can see that within small screen like iPhone SE. I think in here I need to mention some text color for my this main title. Now I am going to implement that part. Yeah, I think now everything is fine. Now we can start this gift section. In here you can see some cards, and in here you can see inside of this small heart icon, and they are using one image in here, and you can see some price and some text in here. First I am going to make array for this one card, and I am going to map that one. That will easy to use. Okay, now time to do that one. I need to add some images from my image folder, and in here I hope to use some react icon for this heart icon. For this heart icon I am going to use react icon. In react icon you can search your icon what you want. Now I am going to search like heart. For the result you can see lot of result. In here I am going to use some suitable icon for my design. I am going to use this two icon. For that you need to simply click on that. In here you can see it name will be copied. After that you can import that icon to your project like this. Now we can use this two icon inside of our project. Now I am going to make array for storing this all data. In here also I no need to use this gift section text. I'm going to remove that. I can use that as my main div element. Inside of this main div element, I need another one div element for this my title. I'm going to add that one. Inside of this, I need to add this share gift title. For that, I am going to use p tag. Now we need to add some style for our p tag. Now I am going to check what are the styles they are using in here. In here you can see they are using text color and font size as 20 pixel and font weight as 600. Now I am going to check with that in large screen. In here you can see they are using title color as text color and 24 pixel for the font size and 600 for font weight. We can add that to our code. Now I am going to check our output. In here we can see our title. In here I am going to create one single card. For that I need another one div element. After that my main div element. Inside of that main div I need another div. In here my main div I need another 3 div element for this heart icon and for this image and for this both text. Now I am going to add that 3 div element. In here you can see I have a 2 text. For that I am going to insert 2 div element inside of this div element. In here firstly I am going to work with this bottom 2 text. For that I am going to check what are the styles they are using. In here you can see they are using font size as 13 pixel and font weight as 500 in small screen. In large screen they are using font size as 14 pixel and font weight as 500 and text color and font color as this text color, and in here they are using 20 pixel for large screen and normal screen they are using 16 pixel. Now I am going to implement that part. Now I am going to check my output. In here you can see this price and this title. Now I am going to add that image to my this div element. Now we need to add some style for our image. Now I am going to check what are the style they are using inside of our design. In here you can see they are using in large screen 120 pixel for width and height. In small screen they are using 100 pixel for width and height. Now I am going to use that one. I think in here you can see that image. In here need to change as text. Now I am going to add icon for our project. Now I need to add another div inside of this my icon div. Now I am going to add that one. Inside of this div I can use my icon name. In here I need to add some style for my icon. I am going to check that. In this you can see they are using width and height as 20 pixel for this heart icon in large screen. In small screen also they are using 20 pixel for width and height. Now I am going to add that style for my project. Now I can add this border radius and background color for this card. Now I am going to add that all things to this card. Now we can check our output. In here you can see our card like this. I need to add some style for this heart icon. Now I am going to use map function for this card. Okay, let's go to check our output. In here you can see our output like this. I think we need to add some style for this. Okay, let's go to check our output. I think in here you can see output like this. In here we can see some margin. We need to reduce that. Before fixing that, I need to add some functionalities for this heart icon. Now I am going to implement that part before the changing this margin issue. First I need to use state for that one. I am going to make that one. In this 49 line, initialize the state variable name as FAV and its corresponding state updater function set FAV using the useState hook. The FAV state is intended to keep track of whether each gift item is marked as favorite. In here, GiftSection data.length represents the number of gift items in the gift data array, and array GiftSection.length.fill false creates an initial array of false values with the same length as the gift data array. Now I need to create handle click function. In this handle click function is defined to handle the user's click on a heart icon associated with the gift item. The function takes an index parameter which indicates the index of the click gift item. This FAV state is an array that keeps track of whether each gift item is a favorite or not. This handle click function is used to toggle the favorite status of a specific gift item by creating a new array and updating the state accordingly. This mechanism allows users to mark and unmark gift items as favorite by clicking on the associate heart icons. Now I can use this handle click function with on-click event. Now we need to change our icon according to this handle click event. Now I am going to check my output. In here you can see my heart icon is working better. Now we need to fix this extra margin issue. Now I hope everything is working perfect. Now I am going to check my output. Yeah, in here you can see this, and I am going to check with that in small screen. Yeah, in here we have some issue with this small screen. Now I am going to fix that one also. Now everything is working better on small screen, and now I am going to check with the large screen. That also working fine. In here you can see we have complete our hero section and giving section and celebrate section and gift section and finally message section. In here we have two remaining parts. One is new gift section and footer section. Now I am going to show you how to complete our footer section. Now time to check out our UI design. In here you can see they are using 4 columns in this footer. First of all, I am going to create that 4 column inside of my footer section. Let's go to do that one. In here also I don't need to use this footer text. Then I am going to remove that one first. Inside of this div I need another 2 main div. I am going to add that one. Now I need to add 4 column. For that I am going to add another 4 div inside of this my last div. Now I need to import images for this footer section. Now I am going to use that images inside of this my footer section. First I am going to use that logo. To use this image tag, I need to import that one also. Now I am going to add some style in here. And now I am going to add this text. And I need to add some style for that. You can see output like this. Now I am going to wrap this image and paragraph by using div tag. Like this, and I need to add some style for this both image and paragraph. Now I am going to add this paragraph in here. For that I need another div. And I need to add some style. You can see output like this. Now I am going to add this column. For that I am going to use this div. In here you can see one heading and inside of that 3 subheadings. Now I am going to add that all. For that I am going to add 4 div inside of this. Now we need to add some style for this column. You can see output like this. Now I am going to add this support column. For that also I am going to add 4 div inside of this div. In here I can use that same style for this column. Now I am going to check my output. I think I have do some mistake. Now I am going to correct that one. I think now everything is fine. Now we can move to our last column. In here also you can see they are using one heading and 2 images. Now I am going to implement that one. Now I need to add some style for this available on text. Now I'm going to check my output. You can see my output like this. Now we need to add these two bulbs to our footer section. Inside of this div, I am going to add two div for my two image. Now we need to add some style for this. I have created this part for the bulb in small displays. You can see the difference in this Figma. In here you can see they are using different position for the small screen size for this two bulb. In large screen they are using another different position for this bulb. Now I am going to create that large screen bulb position. For that I am going to use another div after this div. Now need to add some style for this to bulb. This part for the large screen bulb position. Now I am going to add some another style for this my footer section. In here you can see small screen output like this. Now I am going to check that within large screen. I think I need to add some style for this green bulb. In here I have do small mistake. Now I think everything is fine. Yeah, in here you can see my green bulb also in here. Now our footer section also fully completed. Now time to create this beautiful carousel. First I am going to add this text for my new gift section. In here also I don't need to use this text, then I am going to remove that one. Inside of this I am going to add another div for adding this new gift text. Now I need to add some style for this text. Now I am going to create new file for creating this single card. For that I am going to create new file inside of my component folder. Now I am going to import this single card to my new gift section. Okay, let's go to create this single card. In here I need to import next image, and I need to add two icon for this card. Now I am going to import that. And I don't need to use this single card text, then I am going to remove that one. I am going to add another two div inside of my main div. Now I need another three div for this image and for this text and for this icon. Now I am going to import one image for this. After adding our image, we need to add these two text for our single card section. Now we need to add style for this. After that, we need to add some on-click method for this icon. First, we need to import use state for our single card. Now we can use this handle click inside of our on click. You can see output like this. Now we need to add this background color for our card. You can see our card final output like this. Now we need to add this card for the carousel. To create that carousel, I am going to use this react-multi-carousel package. First, I am going to install that one. So that I am going to copy this by click on this icon. Now we can use that multi-carousel inside of our project. Now I am going to create another component inside of my this components folder. Now I am going to implement my carousel in here. Now I am going to copy and paste this in my image carousel component. We need to add this responsive also. You can adjust this responsive as you wish. I am going to change little bit. Now I am going to add my card details in here. First I need to add image for this. Now I am going to create our data. Now I am going to calculate my array length. Now I am going to map this array and I am going to pass that whole data as a prop for my single card component. Now I can use this all data inside of my single card component. Now I am going to use this carousel. Now I can use this image carousel inside of my new gift section. Let's time to check our output. I think something went wrong. Let me check. Yeah, in here I have do some mistake. Yeah, now everything is fine. In here you can see our carousel. Now you can see our all parts are complete, but we have some remaining part. That is our navigation bar. Let's time to start create our navigation bar. In here I am going to remove this for a while. Now I am going to add two div inside of this my main div. Inside of this last div I am going to add another 3 div. In here I need to add two icons. For this open and close button, and I need to add this bulb image and this logo. And another thing, I need to import image from Next. First I am going to create this logo and this Christmas text. For that I am going to use this first div. You can see output like this. Now I am going to create this dark mode and light mode icon and this open close icon. For that I am going to use this my second div. Now trying to create this menu. Now I am going to use new npm packages for create this menu. For that I am going to use this react scroll. I am going to copy this and I am going to kill my terminal for a while and I am going to paste in here. My packages has successfully installed. Now I am going to use that one. In this time I need only this link. Now I am going to create links for my menu. It means this menu. Now I am going to use that links. You can see output like this. Now I am going to add dark mode and light mode button for large screen. Now I am going to add some transition style for this. Now I am going to add another style for my main div. Now we need to add color for our main page. I think here is some style is missing. Now I am going to complete that one. Yeah, I think now everything is fine. But still didn't work this React scroll. For that I need to add some ID for my code. Now everything is perfectly complete. Now time to push our code to our GitHub repository. Now I'm going to push this code to my GitHub repository. Now you can see your code in your GitHub repository. In here you can see my old code and my GitHub repository. Now I am going to show you how to deploy this project by using Vercel. In here you can see Vercel website. In this window you need to click on this login button. After that you need to click on this continue with GitHub because our project is now available on GitHub. After that you will navigate to Vercel dashboard. In here you need to click on this add new, and in here you need to click on this project. After that you need to import your project. By default you can see my recent project is in here, they are showing. If you are unable to see your project, you need to use this search option in here. Now I am going to click on this import. In here you need to give your project name. If you wish you can change. By default they are selecting our framework. After that you need to click on this deploy button. In here you can see our deployment is now start. After completing our deployment, you can see this kind of window. By click on this, you can navigate to your website. In here, you can see our website. You can use this URL for share your website with your friends. And guys, this is the end of this video. If you have any doubt, you can put that in comment section. I really like to help to you. And special thanks for BDM Code to provide this beautiful, amazing UI design. If you are really like to this video, give it me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.